A story.
Noise in there.
Well, on my GED test that I took, I wrote that I felt sorry for the little Chinese children because they wouldn't have cousins to play with because they were ordered to just have one child.
That's true.
And that's all I got to say about that.
But they actually have about 40 billion other kids to play with over there.
But now the Chinese want their young people to have children. They don't have enough people over there, they say.
Yep. Well,
now that's odd, isn't it?
Well, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
Well, that's what happened.
Okay. So, tell us about the ditch.
The ditch by Grandma Greer's? Okay, Uncle Clifford made that wooden bridge across there to the land that was across the street, which is now 9th Street, was Grandma and Curtis's garden and chicken house. And Curtis raised chickens over there, and Mom had garden and raspberry patch. And then they sold it to the city of Boulder, and the city of Boulder made 9th Street run down through that. And I used to float on an old square can, from Maxwell down to our bridge.
By yourself?
By myself. In the winter, whatever water was left in the ditch that froze, I would ice skate on it. In the winter, Uncle Clifford had dug out all the basement and hauled the dirt out and put cement in there. And in the winter, I could roller skate all the way around the whole basement. Go way out there around the furnace and around. I had my own playground. And yet I was unhappy. I was just there by myself. I didn't have nobody to play with. So I talked to myself. Huh?
An only child, huh?
Well,
Pretty much.
Yeah. See, the boys went off to the war then. See, that was from 1940 or 39, 40, 41. And then they were back home again, and Larry was born, Uncle Randall's son. And I thought he was the most beautiful baby. So I put him in the baby buggy, and off I went over the Mapleton Hill down to Spruce Street to show Mr. and Mrs. Chapman, Aunt Virginia's parents, my beautiful nephew. And they were all out looking for me. I didn't let anybody know I was leaving. I just left. To go show Mr. and Mrs. Chapman my beautiful nephew.
Tell about how you broke your leg.
Oh, at Mapleton School in the 6th grade, the heftiest girl, Betty Zangara, threw the bat and broke my ankle. But I wanted to go and play at this other game over at the Adventist School on Portland that afternoon, so I didn't tell Grandma Greer that I hurt myself until after I got back from that game. And then I had a cast put on it. And remember those long stone steps there at Mapleton School?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had to go up and down those with crutches. Yeah.
Attention seeker.
Attention seeker, yeah.
So you didn't have any friends in that neighborhood?
No, there was one girl that lived further up on Concord. And then across the street was Herbie Miller and his sister. Can't remember her name, but they were Seventh-day Adventists, and so they went to a different school. So one time they wanted me to go along with them to sing the hymns outside people's houses and then go to the house and ask for money for the Adventist church.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't care for that, and I went on
Yeah.
home. I didn't care for that kind of stuff.
So when you went to Boulder High, did you walk down there?
All the way down to Arapahoe, yeah. And you just sort of walk through the city part of Boulder, like Pearl Street and on down. That's on 17th and Arapahoe. So from 820 Concord down to 17th and Arapahoe, and then back home. And come to talk about exercising and what all. I think that helped. And Grandma Greer would walk all the way from 820 down to the Pearl Street.
Really?
Yeah, walking.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good for people.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to walk. And on the way home, you'd stop at the, what was the name of that dairy? I can't remember. On Broadway there.
Dairy?
Huh?
A dairy?
Yeah, the dairy. What was the name of that? Can't remember the name of the dairy. And you'd have,
Royal there?
no. Have shakes and ice cream and everything.
Watts Hardy?
And then walk, huh?
Watts Hardy?
No. Watts Hardy was down on Walnut. Uncle Randall worked for Watts Hardy, driving a truck and delivering milk.
Who did?
Uncle Randall. And he painted, do you remember that old train that was down there in the park by the band shell?
Yes.
He painted all that.
Really?
Uh-huh. And then finally, just in the last 20 years, I think it was, somebody set fire to that, and I don't know what
Really?
they finally ended up, they got rid of it.
Damn vandals.
Hippies living in there.
Huh?
They had hippies living in there.
Probably so, yeah. And I remember in grade school, at Christmas time, all the grade schools, which was Mapleton, Highland, what were the other? Huh?
Whittier?
Whittier. That one down on Arapahoe, what was the name of that? Well, anyhow, there was about 4 or 5 grade schools, and all the grade school children went to Boulder High all together, and we all sang that song, Lord Give Us Peace. They sing it on